Hello, I am Barendipitous, and I wanted to kind of give a bit of a demonstration video about this card game that I've been working on, um, which I'm calling, at least for now, Odin's Conquest. Name might change at some point, we shall see, but that's what I'm calling it for now. And yeah, so currently I'm using a game, a program called Tabletop Simulator. It is about $20 on Steam, but it is also probably it is the best and most ubiquitous, the most used game or like application that people use to play board games and card games online. I did also make all the files for this game available in Google Drive files, so you can basically print the files that you want to play with them as well. So if you have Tabletop Simulator, you can play this. If you don't, and as long as you have access to a printer, you can use the Google Drive files and print those. The link to the Tabletop Simulator mod as well as the Google Drive files will be in the description below. So I've made a video or two before about this card game. It uses Marvel Snap mechanics, and I've also added a time gauge mechanic as well. I wanted to kind of walk you through the components and my vision for this game. Also, especially since this has been updated. It was in pre-alpha, but now as of this week, it is in alpha. Basically, a lot of reworked a bunch of stuff, and I'm not gonna do like full gameplay here, but I'll do like maybe practice gameplay and everything. So anyway. At least in Tabletop Simulator, you have all the components that you need to play the game. This thing up here is just kind of a little note card, just kind of a little note that I give. We have the time gauge over here with the time counter. We have locations. We have enough legends for 2 players. We have the rule book, and we have +1. And oh dear, I just realized I need to change. That's supposed to say strength, not power, and then dice. I'll update that. There's supposed to be +1 strength counters and -1 strength counters. That change will be reflected on Tabletop Simulator soon. But anyway, yeah, this rulebook here, at least on Tabletop Simulator, you can sort of like do a pop it out, kind of make it part of the screen. You can go over all the rules and everything. If you notice, so if you're familiar with the mobile game Marvel Snap, you know mostly how to play this game. The main differences are that turns are not synchronous; they're not at the same time. Instead of energy, you use what's called a time gauge, and I think those are the main game. And also because this is a physical format, it's going to play a bit differently. So let me put this off to the side here. But yeah, essentially what you do is each player makes a deck of 12 cards, just 12 cards, and you set up 3 locations, and then like I said, you have 12 cards in your deck, and you draw. First player draws 3 cards, second player draws 4 cards, and yeah, you kind of choose who goes first. On the first player's turn, they draw a card, and oh dear, I forget what. Let's see, set the time. Let's see, set the time counter to 0. So this time counter should be in the middle there, and let's say, just for sake of argument here, so the locations are revealed. Turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. So on turn 1, this location is revealed, and we have Miami Dome. Whoever's winning this location has +3 strength to all the others. Your goal is to win 2 of the 3 locations. You win by the locations by having more strength total at the location. Let's say I had this card in my hand, Mako, and I wanted to play it. I would have to spend 6 time in order to play Mako and activate its effect. Mako has 6 strength, so it's just pretty good. However, so you can spend again, time is at 0. Your turn is over once the time counter goes to your opponent's side. All right. Now, the time cannot go higher than 5, unfortunately. So I would not be able to play Mako at all because that requires 6. I could play Mordex. Mordex, let's say I play Mordex here, and you would move this time counter over to 1. Now my turn is over, and it is the other person's turn. So, yeah, let's say they had this. Well, yeah. Let's go to a different one here. Let's say they had this card here, all right? So my opponent's turn, still round 1. Time is currently at 1. And so they decide to play Onyx here, all right? Onyx costs 4 and has 7 strength, so currently winning here. On reveal, discard 2 random cards from your hand. So this player would discard 2 cards from their hand. And they spent 4 time, which means that we move the counter 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're at 3 time for my turn. Let's say now I wanted to play the Mako card. All right. I decide I want to play it. Oh, we're at the start of round 2, so we reveal a new location. After round 5, put a random card in each player's hand here. Yeah, Mako. We play the Mako card. If this is your only card at this location, plus 5 strength. This is not the only card at this location, unfortunately. However, Mordex says each time any card is played at this location, this card switches sides because Mordex is a traitor. So that means now Mordex is over here, giving 5 strength to the opponent. But now I have 6 strength, but since Mako is alone here, Mako actually has 11. So to reflect that, we add 5 plus 1 strength counters to Mako to kind of show that she has a total of 11, basically. And I spent 6 time, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it is my opponent's turn, and we're still on round 2. Let's say the opponent had Queen Nai here. At the start of each round, plus 1 strength. So let's see. They decided to play Queen Nai here. That means Mordex goes back over here, and Mako no longer has any of this. Mako now only has 6 strength. So now the total is 2 strength on this side, 11 strength on my side, so I'm still winning here, which means I would get plus 3 strength at all other locations. They spent only 1 time, so they still have 2 time left, essentially. Let's say that they had Sidra here, all right? And they decide to play, you know what? Let's have some wacky stuff happen here. They play Sidra here. Costs 1 time. On reveal, swap this card with the opponent's strongest card at this location. That means Sidra trades places with Mako. All right? So now I have Sidra. She only has 1 strength. And my opponent has Mako. And because Sidra was played here, Mordex gets moved over here. And so on and so forth. So let's see. So Sidra cost 1 more time, so it's still this player's turn. Let's say they also had Olgrim. Give the next card you play plus 2 strength. Let's say they decide to play Olgrim here. Now we begin round 3. And by the way, one way you can kind of keep track of the turns is if you decide to. You can use this dice to kind of keep track, essentially. And I've forgotten how to move the dice around in Tabletop Simulator. But anyway. But yeah, it's the beginning of round. They've spent 2 time to play Olgrim. Now it's my turn. It is now the start of round 3. We reveal this card here, Batavia. Discard a random card from each player's hand. So each person would do that. And so on and so forth. You play up till until the end of round 6, and then you compare the total strength, and whoever is winning 2 of the 3 locations wins. That's basically it. It's probably kind of a lot. It's, definitely a lot of exposition. But that's essentially how you play. And I hope that the rulebook here explains how to play. The rules themselves, there's definitions and things like that and whatever. But the rules themselves really only take a couple pages. We have so we have the setup, we have the gameplay, resolving card effects, and the end of the game. There's a couple of variants And also, I want to point out variant art. All right, so let's actually let me go ahead and reset this game here. There we go. All right, the game has been entirely reset. And now we can, oops, there we go. The reason why I reset it is so that you can, so in Tabletop Simulator, you can search the whole deck. And so this way you can kind of look at each of the cards more closely. I'm sorry the card's are a little bit blurry. I sized the file so they would be the proportions of like a normal playing card, 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. But you can see that a lot of these cards have fan art that, oh gosh, I butchered the quality on some of these. I swear they look better. I swear the PNG files themselves look a lot better than this. But a lot of fan artists have very generously given me permission to have their art featured in the card game this way. And I wanted a lot of styles to be shown here, basically. So theoretically, as long as the artist has given permission, you could honestly put any card art on this. I've designed the cards so that pretty much any card art would still make the card basically readable. Anything I don't have fan art for right now, I have the official Brawlhalla art, of course. But yeah, I think that's another really fun thing you can do because I was inspired, once again, by Marvel Snap. Because in Marvel Snap, they have what are called variants, which is basically the card mechanics don't change, but the card art does change. And there's all kinds of different styles and stuff and whatever, from the really epic to like maybe simpler, and to maybe prettier, and all kinds of different things. And yeah. So anyway, that's what at least on Tabletop Simulator, that's what the game looks like right now. What's the next step for this game? Basically, just this just needs playtesting, really. I feel very happy about. I've done from pre-alpha to alpha. I've done a lot of tweaking of the card mechanics and card stats. I've added a lot more synergy. For example, all the Batavian legends feature discarding as a mechanic. All of the Fangwild legends have movement as a mechanic. All the Exalted Lion characters have a particular mechanic. Let me see. Oh, here we go. If your opponent plays a card here on the next turn, they get stronger. It's kind of like a bit of a hunting sort of mechanic. You play this card, and then the opponent has to choose whether or not they want to play a card there or not, whether it's worth giving you the extra strength, that kind of thing. Kind of setting a bit of a trap, because the Exalted Lions, they hunt monsters, right? And things like that. Very proud of how this is turning out, and yeah. The only thing that this thing needs from alpha to beta is just making sure that this game is fun, and that requires a bunch of people just playing it. I hope to have the opportunity to play this game with people on Tabletop Simulator, and I also plan on printing all of these on cardstock for my own physical version, which is a little nicer than the black and white paper that I printed the pre-alpha on. Basically, every single version of this game will look better and better. That's my hope, anyway. Definitely not. There's never going to be any profit with this game. This is purely a fan project. I just really love card games, and this is probably the best blend of simplicity and depth and lore and fan art that I can think of for a Brawlhalla card game. This is not really a collectible card game because the game is intended to provide you with all the cards straight up. There's 61 cards total, the 59 legends plus Hugin and Chell. And the reason that might not sound like a lot of cards, but you only have 12 cards in your deck. It says so in the setup here. Yeah, each player constructs a deck of 12 unique legend cards. That's all you have. Just 12 cards, only 6 rounds. 60 plus cards is really that gives you a lot of like plenty of combinations to try out. So anyway, I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts, and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, all the best.